Once again, it's such an honor to share some words for this Givaldic website, Five Town Central. Such fantastic work they're doing. I wanted to share a quick idea on the Parsha. Parshas Lecha. The Parsha starts and Avram and Lot are traveling together. And the Pasuk says, Vayelech ito Lot. And the Meshech Chochmah says, Vayelech ito Lot means that Lot went with him. With him means they were kind of on the same level. They were on the same madrega. Vayelech ito Lot. It's appropriate that they're kind of together. He says though, when Avram finally travels to Eretz Yisrael and Hashem speaks to him, and at that point Hashem has spoken to Avram. Avram has become something entirely different than he was. And he says at that point, if you look at the language of the Torah, it says, Vayal Avram miMitzrayim. Avram went up from Mitzrayim. And it says, V'lot imo. And Lot was with him. And the language of no longer ito as an equal. Imo is kind of, Lot is like an afterthought. Lot is no longer on the same level of same madrega of Avram. He's just with him because of their past, because of who he once was, but no longer are they on the same level, on the same plane. But he points out, again, the Meshech Chochmah says, when it comes from Lot's perspective, the language of the Torah is, V'gam lelot haholech es Avram. And also to Lot, who is going with Avram. So we have a fascinating thing. From the Torah's objective perspective, it says, V'lot imo. Lot was with him. Lot was, he's a nobody compared to who Avram was. But from Lot's perspective, Lot still thinks he's on that same level. He's on that same madrega. He's up there with Avram Avinu. And so it's a fascinating idea over here. An idea that I think applies to all of us is that sometimes we have a certain understanding based on our past. We have a certain feeling about ourselves, and we might compare ourselves to somebody else. And either one, it could be that you've gone up, you're on a totally different plane now, but you get stuck in the past. The way you thought of yourself in the past is the way you continue to think of yourself as even now. Or sometimes it's the opposite way. Sometimes you have a friend and they've gone somewhere, and in your mind, you're like, yeah, no, we're still the same. And both of those kind of suffer from an inability to take what you've seen in the past and to reapply it to the present moment. And either way, it becomes this problem of self-awareness that we're not actually kind of in touch with who we are right now. And so I guess the message of Lot and Avram is that, yes, Lot and Avram, at some point, they were one and the same. At some point, it was appropriate to say, Vayelech ito Lot, that Lot is exactly on the same madrega. But it also, as appropriate as it was to say that they were once the same, it also became extremely inappropriate to ever think that they were even close to each other at the point at which Avram Avinu became the father of three major religions. So I think the message for us is that we always remember our past, we always remember who we were, but we need to take time to kind of in the present moment to remind ourselves, just because this was the label I gave myself a few years ago, that doesn't mean that that's the same person who I am today. And to do, constant soul searching, to be able to have, a really good picture of who I am right here, right now. And hopefully with that, we should all grow to be wonderful people all the time. Have a great Shabbos.